Hey, do you have any scars in your life? I do. Fell off a couple bikes, wrecked a couple things here and there. But today we're not talking about physical ones necessarily. We're talking about the mental, emotional, and spiritual scars that you may be carrying around in your life. Here's what probably is happening. Those scars are screaming out to you, you're not perfect. No one's going to love you. Hide that stuff. That is all lies. And in this episode, we're going to discover the truth that it's actually your scars that qualify you for the greatest level of servant leadership. Let's jump in.
Created on purpose and for purpose.
Hey, welcome back to the Daron Earlewine podcast. Stoked to have you back. Man, we're well over 200 episodes. The train just keeps rolling, and more people keep getting on the train.
What's so funny, Coop?
I was about to go choo-choo.
Should have.
This episode is brought to you by Thomas the Tank Engine.
Yes.
So good. So good.
Without need to introduce, PJ's back. Producer Coop's back.
What?
And yeah, guys, it's been so encouraging, and much of it from Coop and PJ, your encouragement and coaching through the years is like, we've been at this for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
We've got over 200 episodes of the Daron Earlewine podcast, which we switched in 2020.
I believe this is episode 204.
I believe so, but I'm bad at math. And I just looked in our Libsyn the other day.
Yeah.
And I think there are 200 episodes of what was before
Shut
the
up,
Daron
really?
Earlewine. Yeah, because it says 404 or whatever.
Oh, interesting.
So that was
yeah. So
Because
there you
a
go.
good
it
amount.
was before, because I think about the whole journey of it. When the first podcast we ever started, I think, was the Pub Theology podcast with Smiley, me, Smiley, Joey V, and we had.
But you were just a part of that was under the Pub Theology
Yeah.
thing. You
Yeah.
know, like not even.
Yeah, we were like, we should do a podcast. So we started that. Then I think we changed it to the Born to Be podcast.
Correct.
And we were doing that for a while, and then the radio show opportunity showed up in 2016.
So we just took what was on the radio and put it as the podcast because that was kind of the thing to do in radio at the
And
time.
I think we would sometimes do like a little extra deep dive
yeah,
into stuff. And then it was a radio theology podcast. Then 2020 with COVID, it goes away.
Right.
And then we're like, okay, we keep changing the name. What is it now? Well, let's just call it the Daron Earlewine podcast, because then it doesn't get canceled unless Daron dies. Lord willing, that's a long time from now.
Well, we could keep it going.
That's true. Just AI me into this sucker.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
let's try it.
But anyway, if by chance you have been here since the Pub Theology podcast days,
400 plus episodes
yeah,
ago.
then good on you. I do have a buddy in town, and he's like, dude, I love the podcast. He's like, I'm just listening all the way through. And I was like, you mean like all the way through? He's like, oh yeah, man, I love it now. He's back. He's like, I'm listening, back, and he's listening to the Radio Theology podcast.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, it's going to take you a minute, bro. I'm like, I was like, that stopped 6 years ago. Like, I'm like, I'm not hating on anything we did with the Radio Theology podcast.
No,
it was great, but
no.
I'm like, the past 200,
We're really getting into
we're
something
really
now.
they're
Yeah.
better. Like, you might just go ahead and skip together, jump to the 2020, But that to say,
I love his commitment. He's like, no.
Yeah, no.
I'm all in.
I'm all in.
Like the guy that commits to a show even when it gets terrible.
Yeah, he's like, I'm
just
going.
keep going. I gotta see it all the way through.
There's 8 seasons, and I'm in season 2.
It's so bad, but I've committed.
But thank you for downloading. It's so cool to see so many new subscribers joining us on YouTube. If you're brand new here, listen, here's what you're going to get, the Daron Earlewine podcast. You may get me interviewing somebody. You may get the 3 of us. And all the 200, there's a big chunk of those where it's just me talking to you. But every single week, you're going to get a message of faith and hope and love. You're going to get a message that God is for you, not against you. He's near you, not far away, and He's created you on purpose and for a purpose. And so, so glad that you're here. We really, really appreciate it. And just a huge shout out. Everything we do as far as all of our resources are run by Blackbird Mission, our nonprofit. And so those of you that listen out there that support us monthly or maybe annually with a tax-deductible donation so we can make all of this content available for free to people all over the world, I just want to thank you for your continued partnership with us. And so, guys, we're in a good mood. We're having a good time.
Mm-hmm.
we're going to get a little heavy in this episode.
Oh,
You've
boy.
been saying deep into the pool.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some tough stuff a lot. I'm going to need you to start sending me the notes to these
Before it happens?
episodes before it happens so I can get my feels out first.
No, see, as an Enneagram 4, I just love to get you right. I love it
Yes.
getting
That's
just
exactly
fresh.
what happens.
I know.
Then I
Come on,
cry.
man.
It's
and
beautiful.
gonna be
Coop
great.
and I aren't going to cry, so we got to have somebody on the podcast about the emotion.
Whatever.
At least we know who the emotional one is.
Yeah, maybe we should do for the summer. We should do a series of like these are happy podcasts,
Happy summer podcast.
happy summer stuff.
And with my luck, you won't invite me into them. You'll have somebody else to be like the boys will be here on the episodes with you and be like, oh, this is fun because PJ's not here.
No, this is well, it's not fun. It is fun. It will be fun. It's hope filled.
There it is.
Well, that's important.
How about
You already
that?
told
Yeah,
us
yeah,
that's
it's
what
good.
you're about. So.
That's true. That's true. So here's the working title. We may change it to make it sound better with SEO and whatever else on YouTube. But here was the thought that I had that I said, let's do a podcast on this. And the sentence is this: why your scars qualify you for servant leadership. And here's where this idea came from. With all the Road Collective coaching that I'm getting to do across the country, I am freaking loving it. I've been a pastor for 26 years now, I guess, professionally. Been doing ministry for longer than that. And I'm going to say that I feel like right now I'm doing some of the most meaningful discipleship ministry stuff I've ever done in my life.
Yeah.
But here's where it's getting heavy for me as a type 7 on the Enneagram, as a connector pioneer, and my wife, who is now a string certified coach, Julie let me know that in my top 5 strengths, I only have one relational strength.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting.
Which is
It's
Put him on the spot. He
I think it's
wasn't ready.
belief. Maybe. I think it's belief. It's heavy because I'm sitting down and with what we do with Road Collective Coaching, come into a company, we'll have like a 90-minute workshop where I'm presenting. And then we split the people up. Usually it's, groups of maybe 25 people. We split them up in what we call hives because everything with Road Collective is about rogue bees. And then I coach these groups of, 4 to 5 people over like an 8-month period, 90 minutes with the hive. And man, I hear their stories. And life is hard. And I think us as humans, we're all carrying a lot of pain. Some of it's, more extreme, obviously, than some. There are stories where it's like, wow, you've had no major tragedies in life. But if you're in your 20s or 30s, like the reality that you've probably lost people to death.
yeah.
Maybe there's been divorce. If you're old age of 17, everyone's experienced some kind of death of a dream. So you're going through your life and you, depending on how, extreme it's been, you have all these things that are scars. And what my experience is walking with these people and knowing, not even just with them, but even in my own life and just knowing humanity, is we begin to believe the lie that my scars are the things that disqualify me in life. So I need to hide them, need to bury the pain. I don't want to talk about that stuff. Like, let's just talk about something happy. Let's just keep moving. Like, this is the stuff I'm ashamed of. And I really feel like that's absolutely the massive narrative coming from the literal pits of hell.
Yeah.
And it's so tragic because we all have it. Like, you don't make it through this life unscathed. You got scars, And it's just been burdening me of how many people, as I'm walking them through, and the beautiful hope is when they trust the process of realizing, man, when you can have your pain transformed, like it can become a gift. It can become a present to you, right? It is the bedrock of where great passion comes from your life. We've talked about that for years in the podcast. So I love watching people actually experience that.
Yeah.
But I thought, let's dig into it a little bit for somebody who maybe they're not able to go through Road Collective Coaching or they're just a podcast person, but to help maybe connect some of those dots to realize if you're watching or listening to the podcast right now, and that's the soundtrack you've been hearing, right? Oh, well, you're divorced. You better hide that. Your parents were drug addicts. You lived in poverty. Your first company failed, or you failed out of college. I mean, whatever the thing is that for you is like, well, you're disqualified. Yeah. You're damaged. You can't live a great life. You don't have a lot of great purpose. Like, not a lot of hope for you. To help them break through to like, no, listen, the scars are actually the unique qualifiers for great servant leadership in your life. There's a guy named John Gaynor Banks. This is a great quote. I've not read any of his books. Maybe I will. This quote said this: "Your inadequacy, see if I can say this word.
Is that like a peculiar kind of word can't say?
Let's not go to the words I can't say. Let's try this again. Your inadequacy is your first qualification. Say it again. Your inadequacy is your first qualification. Thoughts?
Man, what was coming to mind when you were saying that is, you've turned me on to the guy, and I know you've talked about him a lot on the podcast, Jamie Winship.
Yep.
And after we talked the other night, I went into a deep dive of Winshipdom.
Told you.
Bro, I wasn't ready.
Winshipdom?
Winshipdom.
Yeah.
And as a part of that, he talks a lot about identity, and he talks a lot about telling the truth. And I think I've heard you share this before too.
Yeah.
That the start of the whole thing, and even he would say confession to others or confession to God, is starting by telling the truth.
Just telling the truth.
God, this is what I think.
Yeah.
This is what I feel. This is, and I think there's a part of what just came to mind as you were saying that is, I think we got to tell the truth about the scars that we have, right? That, man, this happened, right? This is not fun. I don't like this. This is who I feel that I am. And begin to tell the truth about that to ourselves and to others and to God and to all of that. And that is the start of the healing even more, right? Like, this is what I'm thinking about. This is the truth about it. Now let God take that and do what he does with it. And that's what came to mind as you were saying that.
Yeah.
I think there's a piece to, we were talking about shows and whatever, and we were talking about movies right before we started recording. But I think that's why stories connect. If you look at no great movie, is it perfect for the lead character in the movie? There's always a struggle. There's always a pain. There's always a break. And I think that's one of those things that can unite. And I think our culture, and maybe because it's from the pits of hell, have done a really good job of saying none of that you should let be seen, because you have to look like you have it all together. But to go back to Jamie Winship, isn't that just more separation mindset than it is connection or kingdom mindset in that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're talking about scarcity, certainty, perfection.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I've absolutely don't qualify there, right? Therefore, I got to separate from people. They can't know that. This is proof that I'm unworthy. This is proof that I'm broken. This is proof that I'm unlovable, right? This is what the enemy tells us. And
which is constantly fed to us in everything that we do.
Constantly.
Did you see yesterday? This is going to put a timestamp on the episode, but did you see that yesterday YouTube and Facebook lost a lawsuit saying that they have built their products to be addictive?
Really?
Yeah. And so you can lose 2 hours of your life without any thought to it because of how they're built. And so the addiction mindset that happens in that, and then when you take all of these perfection ideas that are showing up in all of this and constantly feed that into the people that are stuck on social media constantly, what do you think's going to happen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was freaked out. I'm off social media for Lent. I'm not gonna say I'm off forever. I'm just saying my life has gotten increasingly better. Now I do play. There's a game called Screwdom. where you take screws.
Okay.
Oh,
I wasn't sure where this was going. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry.
this is still a PG podcast,
It is. Yeah.
so it's okay.
You take screws out of all these different, like, looks like a huge teapot, and you got to like all the colors.
So
and,
all the little metal plates fall
fall
out
off.
because of the screws that you take out. Yeah.
and it is such a gratifying thing to deconstruct, big metal dragons and watch all the things. So I'm not on social media, but I'm on level like 426.
Yeah, we are there.
Of screw.
We are there.
But like, it's mindless. It's great. And I'm just kind of happy when I accomplish, unscrewing something, and I'm not mad about someone's political thought. I'm not mad about this. But here's the thing that has been freaking me out is the freaking game has a tons of ads, right? Well, there's one that's been feeding me for the past couple of weeks. It's like, get fit after 50. And I'm like, calm down, bros.
Yeah, ain't there yet, buddy.
I'm not 50
I'm
yet.
not
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yeah. Right. But it's this whole like get fit in a chair with Tai Chi.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, bro,
I've seen those
at
too.
50, like I don't need to sit in a chair and do Tai Chi. Like I can get in the gym.
I can lift something heavy, okay?
But the whole ad is fake AI.
yeah.
It's this Tai Chi guy that looks 50 and just shredded.
And they do it in 2 weeks or something.
Yeah.
I think it's like
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, it's like-
I get those, but it's for those over 40. So
Okay.
sorry.
Yeah.
That,
But
I
boost
just
you
get,
up.
I'm sitting over here. I get AARP ads because my name is the same as my dad's.
Oh, that'll do it. That'll do it.
So like I'll get mailers and Facebook ads, and I'm like, I'm not
It's
even
not
close.
me.
It's
Get
not
away.
me. Who are these people?
Hey, sorry for the interruption here in the podcast, but I wanted to take this moment to invite you into something. If you've ever been in a place in your life where you've just felt stuck, you felt like maybe you're just spinning your wheels, you've been thinking, then there's got to be more for me. I listen to the podcast all the time, and I hear Daron talk about on purpose and for purpose. I have to discover my purpose. Well, that feeling is right. You do need to, and I want to help you. I want to help be a guide for you to step into who God's created you to be. And that's the purpose in the design of what we do with Rogue Collective Coaching. So if you're curious or listen, I'm not curious. I know it's time for me to take action. Here's your call to action. I want you to go to roguecollectivecoaching.com. I want you to click the button that says book a discovery call. I want you to jump on a 30-minute conversation with me. Jump on the phone. We'll talk about where you are and if Rogue Collective Coaching is your next step to help you to become who you were born to be. roguecollectivecoaching.com. Book a discovery call. I can't wait to chat with you. Let's get back to the episode. But yeah, so it's all fake. In fact, before I got off Instagram, like I'd be scrolling through something and I'm like, that's a fake person. They look perfect because they were AI generated.
Right.
But like, I'm thinking to myself, okay, I have the ability, but there are sometimes I'm like, is that a real person? But let's say you're a
it's getting good.
17-year-old girl
Right.
or boy, and you're just scrolling on there, and you're not quite understanding, like, oh, that's what a perfect athletic dude's supposed to look like. You're like, I'm the worst. Like, no, bro, that's a literal computer-generated fake.
Yeah.
No one looks like that. That's not real.
Well, Darren, here's the reality too, is that we know this about it. When I go on, I'm like, I know what I'm going to be served. I know that there's going to be times that I'm coming face to face with somebody that might be doing better than me because they're showing me their highlight reel and I'm not there yet or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I know this, but I still go there in my mind,
Yeah.
whether I want to or not. And it's so true because the addictive side of it, you find yourself stuck in land, So we're not sponsored by this, but I purchased this week, and so I'm going to give it to you guys because it's been changing my life.
Okay.
It's called The Brick.
Oh, you did get one?
I got one.
I have read about them and tried some apps that do similar things,
Yeah.
but I haven't done the actual brick.
What I
We
like
bought
it-
it for the boys for Christmas, and none of us have used it.
Are you serious? Oh,
So does that mean you
man.
have 3 of them sitting around your house?
I think so.
Hey, bring one over. I'll take it off your hands.
It is awesome. Even down to the point of this morning, I was driving my 5-year-old around, and we went to go get our haircut, and he's having to sit there. And normally, I just give him my phone, and you can watch something. Well, phone is bricked because I set my parameters. And bro's like, he's so mad because he can't do nothing, right? Like he's got to play or do something different,
Or
you
just
know?
be bored.
And and
Yeah.
it's like it's even I'm seeing it there, going, oh my gosh, it's right in front of us. And so I know, much like you're saying, when you're off of social for a bit, that you go, why do I feel lighter? Why do I feel better? It's because we're not having those people push those scars so much, right?
Yeah.
Like just those things, you're not this, you're not that, you're not this, you're not that. And you go, oh, and this isn't a podcast about getting off social media. I mean, you can, that's fine. But
But if
ultimately,
you saw this clip on social media, thank you.
Yeah. Stay on that. Subscribe.
please hit the button to go watch the full episode. Yeah. But that's the thing about it is we can easily just, kind of fester in those scars even more just because of the things that we're seeing. And so we just got to pay attention to it. Just get the brick. You'll be fine.
So here are the 3 lies that drive fear, guilt, and shame around our scars. Okay, these are the 3 lies. There are perfect people. Lie. Right.
There's been one.
Right. Perfection is the standard. 3rd lie is my life is primarily about me.
Well, and to piggyback on what we were just talking about with social, what does social tell you every time you get on there? Those 3 things.
Yeah.
Those lies are met in your face every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the soundtrack that we're going through. Unaware of it, right, is there are perfect people. What do I know about my life? Well, it not me. So I'm less than. But there are some perfect people out there, but not me, right? Perfection is the standard. I don't meet the standard. Therefore, shame, guilt, fear, hide, lie, self-protect, right? Because no one can know that I'm not perfect because then they'll know that I'm not like the perfect people, right? And my life is primarily about me. This is the trap that we're in, right? That keeps us from stepping into healing. And obviously the point you just made, the only perfect person was Jesus, right? He set the standard. And by what he did with his life, his death, and his resurrection, he has now allowed the entirety of humanity to be able to separate from these lies and embrace truth. Here's the deal. There are no perfect people, right? There was one, and he has now made a way where all of us imperfect people can be accepted and loved in our imperfection and actually find healing and hope for what we've gone through. And the reason the whole thing, the podcast episode was called, like, it's your scars that qualify you for servant leadership, is if you can reject that last side that my life is primarily about me, because I think the truth is your life is primarily about relationships. Everything else is just the details, right? So if I go, okay, wait, let's walk it backwards. Okay, my life is primarily about others. Okay, well, this changes things a minute here. My life is primarily about loving and serving other people. That's where real life is. Okay, well, perfection is not the standard. Okay, well, if I could know that, and then, well, there are no perfect people. Oh, sweet. So you mean potentially the specific scars I have, you mean there might be millions of other people that have those exact same scars? Yep. So then if I showed them my scars, they would go, me too. And then if my whole role is to serve and love and help those people find hope, like, and if I've gotten connected to God and I've actually found, like, not maybe perfect, complete, healed, cured hope, but like, if there's a scale to like 1 to like infinity, and I've gotten to like a level 25 of hope, you mean if I meet somebody that's at a level 5 of hope, and my life is primarily about loving and serving other people, you mean it's actually, listen, here's this scar. Oh, you have the same scar? Yeah. And then I find out, oh, you're just at level 10? Hey, can I just tell you about how I got to level 25 of hope? Right? And all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I don't need to hide these. Yeah. Like, I now have this testimony, right? Like, and that's what I want people to get their mind around. That, I think, is what sharing your faith looks like. Not, I don't know if you know about the fact you're going to hell, and right? Like, here's sharing your faith. Here's my faith, right? I have scars, pains, struggles, failures, things where I've taken on wounds in my life, whether I caused them myself or they were brought upon me, they were injustices, maybe they're even generational patterns in my family. But I have found a connection to the source of love and hope and forgiveness and peace and healing. And he actually loves me for these scars, and he's helping them heal. Let me share that with you, because guess what? You have scars.
Man, it reminds me this last week. My wife and I were in a counseling session, as we do, but in that we have a real stressful time going on. We're building a house, we're selling a house. There's 4 kids, young. It's crazy, right? And so we found ourselves at a place that was just stressful. We were talking it through in that session, and I found in that moment I was telling them, or really our counselor Holly pulled it out of me, and then stuck it in my face. But basically, it was I had all of these stressors that I was trying to hide from my wife or the family. Like it's gonna be fine, it's gonna be fine. But I'm building that up, and the stress in my life is that protecting her from the stress, right? And in that moment of them talking it out, they gave me space to be able to share those things. Like, I'm stressed about this. I'm stressed about that. This is what I think. This is my fear that I'm having in all of this. And my counselor said at the time, she goes, Lauren, how does that feel? Lauren's my wife. How does that feel that he shared that with you? And in my brain, I'm going, she's going to go, now I'm more stressed out because I know he is. And she goes, oh, it's so nice to know I'm not alone in that. And it was like, what? Like, it completely changed the way that I was telling that story in my mind. And it's almost what you're saying with the scars, right? You go, hey, look at this one. And you're like, oh, I got that one too. Oh, I'm not alone.
Yeah.
I'm not alone in that. And there's beauty in that. And I literally came face to face with it this week when it was like, oh, I can say that I'm scared and stressed out about this, and you're not going to like run away and go, oh no, now I'm more stressed and scared.
Yeah.
You feel more, oh, okay, I'm not alone.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Beautiful, man. I love that, Coop. Yeah, it's just interesting, man, because you think about, Coop, I mean, the fear, the shame, the guilt that you're feeling of like, oh, a real man would have all this faith for, like, a real husband would, like, these are these things, but I don't, right? I mean, I'm imperfect and I feel weak and I'm scared and like, I can't lead with that. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Because then I'll get rejected. And then realizing, like you just said, like, no, actually when I allow myself to be seen and known, I actually create the opportunity for the person I love most to love me.
Yeah.
Right. And the whole phrase of like, intimacy, right, is into me, you see.
I've never heard it said that way.
Really?
Yeah.
Shut up, really?
Yeah.
I came up with that myself, guys.
No, you didn't. Where'd you curate that from?
I don't know.
Good job. You're so smart.
We want to have more intimacy in our marriage. And just to be honest, as guys, we're like, you mean sex?
Yeah.
Well,
I'm in.
we all? That's all right.
Yeah. But like, no, I want to grow in intimacy. Okay, what that means is that into me you can see.
Yeah.
And into you, I want to see.
Yeah.
And what I see, I'll respond with love and grace. And this is what, God gives us. Speaking of that, Coop, I think it's Jamie Winship. I think it's him.
It's either him or Gary Smalley
Or
or
Irwin.
Dave Gibbons
Or
or
Dave Gibbons.
Erwin
Or
McManus
Jesus.
or Jesus.
Sure. That's the database. But he said he and his wife started doing this thing where every day they would either wake up or at some point during the day they would tell each other, this is what I'm most afraid of today.
Ooh.
I can't lie, dude. I heard Jamie say that last night.
Really?
And I was sitting on the couch with Lauren, and I looked over at her and I said, can I just tell you what I'm really scared of right now? And just said it. I've never done that in our whole entire marriage. And bro, it was, like I said, I'm really scared that you're going to think that I'm crazy and now it's just more stressful for you. And she was like, no, thank you for sharing, and we just had a really good conversation around it. So exactly, I literally did that last night because I heard Jamie say that was something that he does. And it makes so much sense. It's the fear, or he even says the joy, like what I'm most excited about or what I'm most afraid of if you have those conversations.
Man, that even changes it. Like, we all have kids. They get home. How was your day? Tell me the best part. What was the worst part? Like, but to change it, what brought you the most joy today? What are you the most scared of? Like, even in that, like that would change so many conversations at our dinner table if it would come out.
Well, and it comes back to then further of what Jamie teaches is the idea of learning to just having a conversation with God. It's like that's your opener with God. It's what you said, Coop. It's confession. I'm going to confess,
So
God,
good.
I am afraid, terrified of this. What do you want me to know about that? Then you listen, and then you hear, and you write it down. And usually God's going to speak to something about his character or your identity. And that's, I think, what we got to come back to is like, what is my identity? I'm a dearly loved son of God, period.
Yeah.
What about the scars? Dearly loved. Well, what about all my failures? Dearly loved. And that's what I am so passionate about what we're doing, you know, with the Road Collective clients and with folks that are part of what we're doing with the, all our Blackbird mission resources. And because it's just knowing that that is the condition of our world. But if I can start going, there is nobody perfect but Jesus. Perfection isn't the standard, and my life is not primarily about me. It's about how I serve and love others. Oh, sweet. Then these inadequacies are actually my first qualification. I have a buddy who's had a tough life, and it was cool to see him come to this epiphany a couple of years ago when he realized, like, everything I've been ashamed of, I've realized if I find people that have those same scars, there's nobody more qualified to help them find hope. Those are my people.
Yeah.
Like, those are my people. Oh, and whatever you're...
That's why AA puts you with a sponsor who's gone through it.
Correct. Spot on. I would say AA is actually probably one of the most effective discipleship structures.
100%.
I mean, it was, started, with the biblical framework, but what does the Word of God tell us about our scars or sins? It says, confess them to one another that you might be healed, right? Hey guys, here's the scars. This one actually is still scabbing over, or this one's still like, okay, well, let's tell the truth about that. Let's go to Jesus about that. Let's find healing from that.
Well, and to the point that, in a few episodes back, we talked about the prophecy thing, and it seems like this, weird kind of crazy woo-woo thing. And the way you broke it down was like, it's just encouraging people, right?
Yeah.
But when you're talking about this and confession, it's another word. Well, I had a bad thought the other day about that. Like, that's what you feel like you have to do. But what you're breaking down here is the fact that we can sit across the table from one another and say, I'm actually really scared about this. I'm really scared about that. And that is the confession, right? And that's where it starts. And that makes it way more accessible than if it's like, please unlock all of your sins and put them on the table, and it feels this, I don't even know where to start, right? But to share our fears with one another, that's where that starts.
Yeah. I think it's interesting. When I was thinking about this episode, it made me think about in Luke 24, Jesus is resurrected. He is risen. He is risen indeed. Easter's around the corner, right? And like, he has done. It is finished. He's resurrected. Like, all of the things of the realities that we now live in. And the disciples are racked with fear, hiding behind a locked door. Right? And the thing Jesus does, right? And so, verse 36, just as they were telling about it, so they're talking about everything that's going on, it says, Jesus himself was suddenly standing there among them and greeted them. But the whole group was terribly frightened, thinking they were seeing a ghost. Jesus says, why are you frightened?
Because you just showed up out of nowhere, bro.
We watched you die on Friday, and you just walked through a wall, right? Or however you just showed up here. Like, hello? He says, why do you doubt? Why do you doubt that it is really I? And here's what he says. Look at my hands. Look at my feet. You can see that it is I myself. Touch me and make sure that I'm not a ghost. Like, and as he spoke, he held out his hands for them to see the marks of the nails and showed them the wounds in his feet. It's really intriguing to me that Jesus defeats hell, death, and the grave, comes back from the dead, the first ever resurrected body, still has the scars. It would have been pretty easy. I don't exactly know the science behind how you get a glorified, resurrected body, but I think it would probably have been pretty easy for God to be like, well, Jesus, God, like, okay, let's just patch up that thing there. That was painful. You guys remember when I got crucified? No one needs to see those. And let's get the feet too. Yeah. Why? Why did he keep the scars? And to me, like that just was like a overwhelming like thing of like, wow. Like even you in your perfectiveness, he said, no, hey, let's keep the scars. And then the thing that, there was a lot more, but one of the things that activates the faith and pushes out the fear that these disciples are having is like when they're like, oh, they're the scars. And man, if Jesus is our paradigm, right, if he is the way that we want to do it, if that's the way he chose to do it, then I think we could embrace that of like, yeah, I'm a follower of Jesus and I've done it for a long time and I'm in this process of being, transformed and becoming who I'm born to be. But man, I'm keeping the scars. And guess what? You can see them.
That's wild.
We were never meant ourselves, I think, to take on the role of healer. One, I'm finding my words, and two, I'm trying not to cry. But there's this, maybe it's the 4 side of me who's willing to sit in the struggle more than a 7 or a 9 sometimes, right? Sure. Like, but that image of the wounded healer that Jesus is, like, is prophetic in and of itself, right? Like it is talked about all through Scripture prior to that he's going to be pierced for us before it happens, right? Like it's setting all that up. And when we look at when we try to do the healing, when we try to achieve perfection, when we try to make ourselves holy, that's when things break. Like, but when we lean into what you're talking about, accepting our scars, the confession, the real relationship conversation with Jesus and the healing part, then flows so differently that it is so otherworldly. It is supernatural in a way that we just have to get out of our own way. There's your U2 lyric for the day.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Well, you teed me up perfectly. I wanted to, before we close, Isaiah 53, right? Who has believed our message? To whom has the Lord revealed his powerful arm? My servant, this is prophetically speaking of Jesus, grew up in the Lord's presence like a tender green shoot, like a root in dry ground. There was nothing beautiful or majestic about his appearance, nothing to attract us to him. Then it gets better. He was despised and rejected, a man of sorrows, acquainted with deepest grief. We turned our backs on him and looked the other way. He was despised and we did not care. Like, he is the suffering servant.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus is the model. He is perfect. And he was a man of sorrows, acquainted with the deepest grief, right? Nothing beautiful or majestic his appearance to attract us to him. And yet, that was the model. And we go, I got to really spruce myself up so there's something really attractive about me. I don't want people to know that I'm a man of sorrows and I'm going to with deepest grief, because then people, oh no, actually, that inadequacy, those scars, it's your deepest qualification. That makes you look most like Jesus, right? Because, and then as it goes on, right? Yet it was our weakness he carried. It was our sorrows that weighed him down. And we thought his troubles were a punishment from God, a punishment for his own sins. But he was pierced for our rebellion, crushed for our sins. He was beaten so we could be made whole. He was whipped so we could be healed. It was his scars, right, that give us that healing. And if our life is not predominantly about us, but how do I take on that same identity of I am a scarred and suffering servant of others that is in the process of being healed by Jesus. Not there the whole way, right? I'm in process. But I've been connected to a source who is able to actually heal my pain, transform it so I don't transmit it. It's a quote that I share the companies. It's a Richard Rohr quote that says, any pain that is not transformed is always transmitted.
It's real good.
It says always someone else has to pay. And I think that's where we can look at, man, how do I, like, let's say you have a painful cycle in your family, right? And we all have kids, and it's like, I don't want that to go on to my kids. I don't want that to go to my kids' kids. And it's like, so what do I do? Okay, here's what happens. If you don't allow it to be transformed, you will transmit it. But if it's transformed in the process of being transformed, then what you transmit is healing and hope. Dude, that's the play I want to run. You know what I mean? So, we said, deep into the pool. And what I want you to notice, if you're listening or watching, is that we're not doing this alone.
Right.
Like, we're talking together. We walk this together. You're talking about what you're learning from your counselor, right? We're talking about what we're learning from mentors and authors and things that we're, and above and below and within all of that, we're talking about what this connection of walking with the living God, with Jesus, is doing.
Yeah.
So if you're watching this, you're going, man, even my scars, right? I don't think I can do this, right? and you're feeling overwhelmed, like, I can't do this alone. You're right, because you were never meant to. You got to get into some community with people that want to go on this healing journey together, right? That could be a church, right? It could be a counselor. It could be some friends. The key is that you get in a community of 2 or 3 others, okay? So you're one, so you'd need one more. And the promise from Jesus is where 2 or 3 are gathered, I'm with you. So this is a pretty simple deal. I got to go find a big, no. If you don't have somebody right now and you're being overwhelmed with shame and worry and fear and guilt, just begin asking Jesus, could you send me to one person of peace for my journey? And then start paying attention to who God brings into your life. You don't need a bunch of people. You need 2 or 3. Got yourself 2 or 3 good friends. You've got yourself a tribe. Quote from one of the greatest movies ever made, Young Guns 1. When Chavez E. Chavez tells Billy the Kid, you know, Billy, you got yourself 2 or 3 good friends. You got yourself a tribe. One of my favorite quotes, one of my favorite movies.
That's good. That's good. That's good.
All right, listen. Hope you enjoyed this. Would love to hear your feedback. Genuinely rooting for you, praying for you. And we are humbled that you get to take, that we get to take this journey with you as being a part of the Daron Earlewine podcast community. Until we talk again, remember these 3 things. God is for you. He is not against you. He is near you, not far away. And he's created you on purpose and for a purpose. Thanks for downloading this episode of the Daron Earlewine podcast.